Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Sopan Sopian and I'm from 5BB class English Department State Polytechnic of Sriwijaya, Palembang. And today I'm going to explain to you about data collection. There are three major techniques for collecting data. First is questionnaires. Second is interviews. The third is observation. But today we will only learn about observation method. Do you know what is observation? Observation is a technique that involves systematically selecting, watching, listening, reading, touching, and recording behavior and characteristics of living beings, objects, or phenomena. And here, the advantage of the observation method. First is directness. Second is natural environment. Third is longitudinal analysis. And the fourth is nonverbal behavior. And we go to the first one, directness. We can collect data at the time they occur. The observer doesn't have to ask people about their behavior and report from others. He or she can simply watch as individuals act and speak. While the survey respondent may have a hazy or loose memory about events that occur in a distant past, the observer is studying events as they occur. The second is natural environment. Whereas other data collection techniques introduce artificially into the research environment, data collection in an observant study describe the observed phenomena as they occur in their natural settings. Observation is neither as restrictive nor as artificial as either the survey or the experiment. The third is longitudinal analysis. Since the observation is possible to be conducted in a natural setting, the observer can conduct his or her study over a much longer period than within either the survey or experiment. And the fourth is nonverbal behavior. Observation is decidedly superior to survey research, experimentation, or document study for collecting data on nonverbal behavior. Some studies focus on individuals who are unable to give verbal reports or to articulate themselves meaningfully. And here, the disadvantage of the observation method. First is lack of control. Second is the difficulties in quantification. The third is smallness in sample size. And the fourth is no opportunity to learn fast. First, lack of control. Despite the advantage achieved from the natural environment as the observation study, however, is little control over extraneous variable that may affect the data. The presence of stranger, the observer, and the error involved in human observation and the recording of data, which may remain out of control the observer, are likely to bias the observation to great extent. Second is difficulties in quantification. Measurement in observational studies generally takes the form of observer unquantified perception rather than the quantitative measures obtained in the survey and experimental studies. Third is smallness in sample size. Because observational studies are generally conducted in depth with data that are often subjective and difficult to quantify, the sample is usually kept at a minimum. Also, in the deep nature of the observation studies generally requires that they are conducted over an extended period than the survey method or experiment. These features tend to limit the size of the sample. And the last is no opportunity to learn fast. In an observational study, there is no way to know the past. It is also difficult to gather information on such topics as its intention, opinions, attitudes, and preference. This technique can generate either quantitative or qualitative data but tends to be used more for small-scale exploratory studies than for large-scale quantitative studies. This, this is because it, it usually requires relatively high-skill observers and analysis, prolonged periods of observation, and high cost per unit of observation. I think that's all from me for today. Thank you for watching. See you on the next video and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.